Alright, here's a bunch of stuff I've been cutting lately. Here's a Mexican coconut. Not the most spectacular piece. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Here's a Brazilian agate sphere preform, and here's all the cuttings from it. Here's a moss agate preform. Here's the beginnings of a sphere of obsidian. And here's a bunch of the cuttings from that. Almost looks like midnight lace. Not quite sure though. And here's a bunch of fluorite. Rainbow fluorite. Got a big crack running down the middle of it. Some of the slabs off of it. They keep falling apart because of the crack. Got some nice dark color. Unfortunately, it's also full of fractures. This is a different piece, obviously more solid. So that's good thick. I'm hoping I can get a nice cabochon out of that. And then here's another large piece that I started cutting. Actually, it looks like it's got blue in there, tiny bit of purple, but mostly blue. So then I took a couple slabs. They're very light. Then I flipped the stone over and I started cutting it across the, across the rainbow. And I got a nice piece of blue. However, I don't know how well it'll hold up. Once I start cutting a cabochon out of it. I'm hoping you can at least see some of the blue. That would be nice. I've done this before with a piece of purple and it came out really nice, so we'll see. So a bunch of fluorite, obsidian sphere, working on it. Oh, I almost forgot this guy. So this is Polychrome Jasper, one of my recent purchases. I picked it because of this little guy right here, and looks very promising. This is just kind of junk, so that'll go in the tumbler. And then this looked pretty nice, and when I turned it over, it got even better. So the next couple slabs were very orbicular. And then I have this end cut, which is good and thick. I may polish it as a display piece, or I'm not sure yet at this point. That's a future decision down the road. So Polychrome Jasper, fluorite, obsidian, moss agate, Brazilian agate, and Mexican coconut or Las Choyas nodule geode. That's my cuttings for early September. So for years I've had this 20 plus pound chunk of Maury Mountain red moss agate, and I was going to cut a big sphere out of it. Unfortunately, once I got it in the saw and started cutting it, it started falling apart. Big chunks fell off, things like that. So I decided I would try and make a bunch of smaller spheres, and not all of these will make it because, as you can see, there's some big holes and things like that. So I'll see if I can work around those, but I'm trying to make something out of the spoils essentially. Now see, like that's got a really bad spot right there and right there, so this might make smaller spheres. But we'll just wait and see what's left. As you can see, there's a crack right there as well. So I'll have to work around that. It is on a corner, so it might be okay. One of these actually had a crack right through the middle of it, so it's not useful. And then here's a piece of obsidian, and I had a similar problem where pieces started falling off of it as I was trying to cut it down into a sphere preform. Oh look, I see some blue in there. That's probably why I wanted to make a sphere out of it. Anyway, so now I've got to redraw the lines a little bit smaller and oh yeah, look at that, and see what I can do with it. And then here, this is actually a piece of glass. I don't even know where I acquired it, but I'm going to try and make a sphere out of it and see if I can keep that pattern in the middle. We'll see. I'm not the biggest fan of artificial materials, and I consider glass to be man-made artificial. So, we'll see, and then here's the trimmings from those as well. And then I have this piece of rainbow fluorite, and I was trying to see if I could get a layer of, it's got blue in it, and I was trying to see if I could get a layer of the blue. So I started cutting it through the layers, and I just happened to notice this weird turtle-backed effect. So I'm going to see if I can do a face polish on this, because that's pretty cool there. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't think I can do rainbow fluorite on the high-speed sander. It's probably too fast, too hot, and would cause all kinds of flaking. I don't even know if I'm going to try it. I think I'll just stick to the Genie and see what we come up with. So that's some of the stuff I've been working on. Now I may take this over to my napping area and see if I can make some kind of scraper or skinning knife or something out of it, because that sucker is sharp. I've cut myself a couple of times on this big giant cube. So we'll see. There we go. That's my recent cuttings for the last couple weeks for, I guess I'd call it late September.